What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another brand new video here today. We're back for another episode of my F1 2020 My Team career mode here today for the what is this, Chinese Grand Prix. I had to think about that for a minute there. I'm not sure why, but a very interesting race weekend that we've got ahead of us. As you can see, qualifying is going to be dry, but we have a full wet race, but it is set to dry out towards the end. So that is going to make things very, very interesting. Strategy will definitely play a part in this race, regards of what tyres people choose to go on at the right time. And this is also going to be my first experience on the game in driving in wet conditions. So yeah, this is going to be tricky to get used to. So I put in a lot of laps in practice. A lot more than I normally would, mainly just to try and get a feel for the wet conditions, how the car would respond, and you know, how hard I could push in certain areas, and if I had to take it easy anywhere in particular, or you know, just really pushing the boundaries and just seeing what we could do. The track did dry up a bit later on. I think it actually dried up after track acclimatization, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, as you can see here, yes it did. So track acclimatization was in the intermediate conditions, but I did, I think, all 3 laps for the track acclimatization that were available, instead of just doing the one and then moving on to something else, which is something that I basically never do. So yeah, that's a bit different, but all the rest of the practice programs were in the dry conditions. Still definitely not looking very nice overhead. It's a very overcast, very ordinary looking day here at Shanghai. Now, one thing that I do want to make clear while we're just going through practice, for this race weekend I've bumped the difficulty up. So I think it's at 107 now, I think. We'll double check that just before we go into qualifying in the race, but I think we've upped the difficulty to 107 now. But there's the results from the end of FP1, and I think it shows P13 on the soft compounder tyres, the only one to run the soft compound. So that's really not a good omen for what lies ahead. Mick Schumacher down in 21st on the medium tyres. Not a real big surprise there. But yeah, as I was saying, we've bumped the difficulty up to 107 now, as I felt like 106 was too easy. In qualifying, obviously, even when we were on 106, we still couldn't get out of Q1, but in the race it was just way too easy. So that's the main reason why I've bumped it up, and yeah, hopefully it all goes well. But we'll head over to qualifying now, and I think from memory, if I'm not mistaken, this qualifying session really didn't go well for me. The first lap was a pretty crap one, to be honest. I think there were quite a few mistakes. Overdriving the car, I'd say, was just the main cause. I was just pushing way too hard, and yeah, overdid it. So first lap is what you're seeing right now. We're just going to fast forward to the end of it, as like I said, it was a pretty crap lap. It was absolutely nothing special. Through the final corner, open the DRS, across the line. First lap of the session is a 132.4. Puts us P11 at the moment with the 2 Williams behind us. We can definitely improve. So we'll look at our final lap of the session now. Going through these long right-handers, so important to carry as much speed and as much momentum as you can down to first momentarily, just to make sure you can get the nose in. Short shifting all the way through the exit there to try and minimise the wheel spin. About a 1/10 and a half up, coming to the end of the first sector. We go a little bit deep in that right-hander. That's going to cost us a little bit of time. We're still 1.5 tenths up, so it really didn't cost us anything in terms of previous delta, but we definitely should have gained a bit more time through there. And as you can see, being well, a little bit ragged through there, to be honest. Overdriving the car again a little bit, I'd say, is the main culprit here. Just trying to find more time. As you can see, we're 2 tenths down on our own teammate Mick Schumacher at the moment. So at this rate, it looks like Schumacher might actually out-qualify us for the first time this season. So that'll be interesting if that happens. But anyway, down this long back straight, DRS max fuel mixture overtake on the ERS, or hot lap on the ERS I should say. Hard on the brakes at the end of the back straight at the 100 metre board. Downshift first gear, short shift up the second, and up the third, fourth, fifth. We're about half a second up now. Schumacher is P18 on a 131.7. We come through the final corner, up to the line. Are we going to jump him? No, we don't. It is only P19. And we'll have a look at the end results now. So we have not made it through to the second part of qualifying, but as we go down, we're down in 21st. We have basically qualified last for the Chinese Grand Prix. Mick Schumacher up in 18th. We have only out-qualified Nicholas Latifi. Oh boy, that's a bad session. That was not good. That doesn't do our rivalry any good with Kimi Räikkönen either. But it's a wet race, so hopefully we can fight back. But let's get into it and have some fun.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. The ever-tightening turns 1 and 2 will prove tricky in the slippery conditions here at Shanghai, and anyone that slides wide will lose a lot of time getting back on track. Turn 14 should still be the best place for overtaking, but we'll have to see some improvement in the weather before the drivers can take advantage of that DRS assistance. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. Now, can I talk to you about Sebastian Vettel? Looks like they've got a tough race in store today as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Alexander Albon, and Sainz, Ricciardo, Norris, Kvyat, and Esteban Ocon, Perez, Stroll, Sebastian Vettel, and Raikkonen, Gasly, Giovinazzi, Romain Grosjean, and Mick Schumacher, Magnussen, Russell, Lee, and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Alright, so here we are on the grid for the Chinese Grand Prix. Absolutely horrendous conditions here at Shanghai at the moment. Full wet tyres on the car. Now, one other thing that I do want to talk about real quick is the setup, as you can see there. For this race, we were still basically running the default setup, as there's been a few problems with being able to access time trial, the leaderboards and setups, etc. And basically the whole online scene is just one big mess at the moment, because every time you try and join ranked races or something, or even unranked, communicating with online servers will pop up on your screen, even when you're about to start a race, or even when you're in the middle of it, and you basically end up crashing out because because you can't see. So I don't know, hopefully Codemasters are working on a fix for that, because it would be good to actually get a bit of online racing in on this game, but yeah, it's proving rather difficult to at the moment. But anyway, we'll worry about that another time. Just looking at these conditions, this is absolutely horrible. Now, one thing I will say is the spray was bad enough on the formation lap. I can't imagine how bad this is going to be when we get up to racing speed. First things first, we just got to survive the first lap. If we can do that, hopefully then, we can just keep going forward. So we're reformed, back on the grid. Hopefully we can gain some spots off the start here, but this is going to be tricky. 4, 5 red lights. And away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix. Looks like a pretty decent start compared to George Russell. We're going to draw alongside it. We get massive loads of wheel spin there. We're going to try and cut off Latifi, go to the inside, but Latifi, having none of it there, sends it down our inside, almost runs into his teammate. But now we're going to try and look up the inside of a couple of the AI through this long sweeping right hander. Turns to the outside here. We're still going to try and make up positions. We're 3 wide at the moment, I think, with Schumacher and Magnussen, so this is very sketchy. A little bit of wheel spin on the exit there. We maintain position. Magnussen looking on our outside. Grosjean moving a little bit there in the braking zone. Might want to avoid that in future, Sunshine, if you can help it. But we're getting the move done on the 2 Haas's and on Antonio Giovinazzi as well. So that is up to P16. Pretty good start, up 5 spots in, well, not even in half a lap. So another good start for us. But, man, you can see the spray is just absolutely horrid. You can barely see anything that's actually ahead of you, so we're going to have to be very careful when trying to make moves on the AI here. But coming on to lap 4, the field did start to spread out quite rapidly as well, I noticed, and I was definitely being pushed a little bit to try and keep up, even just with the likes of Raikkonen and Gasly ahead. But on to lap 6, we have been able to do that, and we have actually caught Gasly a little bit here, and at this point I felt like I was quicker. I wanted to get by if I could, but it was so hard to. So at this point I'm thinking we might have to try ascend. Are we going to look around the outside? No, we're not. Maybe get him on the exit. That is definitely not going to happen as we burst into wheel spin there. And as you can see, cutting on to the end of lap 7, now we're coming into the pit lane, and this is actually for a set of intermediates. So at the end of lap 6, a couple of the AI actually pitted for inters, and then down the back straight on this lap, Jeff actually told me that the inters were the quicker tyre. So we've come in, hopefully a quick pit stop from the boys. Nice 2 second, beautiful stop there. And we have split Esteban Ocon and Lance Stroll. There goes Sergio Perez. Who have we got right behind? That is Kimi Raikkonen, that is our rival. So we have jumped the main man that we need to beat, and Esteban Ocon as he runs high and wide there. And that is up to P13 now. Perez and Kvyat directly ahead of us. So all of a sudden we're in the fight for P11 with a great pit stop from the team there. Absolutely awesome work. But they've done their job. Now it's time for us to do ours. On to lap 10. We're pretty close to Perez. Are we going to look for a move? We're in rich and overtake. We're going to look and send it down the inside on the Mexican. He doesn't give us a lot of room there. I think there was a little bit of contact. No damage to either car. So that's all well and good. But cutting on to lap 12. Now we're trying to make moves on the AlphaTauri of Danny Kvyat in P10. As I think somebody in the top 10 either pitted or retired. No, they must have pitted because we've still got 22 cars in this race. So someone has pitted that was in the top 10, and that has now promoted Kvyat into position number 10 as we almost rear end the Russian there at the end of the back straight. That was very sketchy. Luckily we get away with it. Cutting on to lap 13 now through this long sweeping turn 1, turn 2. Are we going to look for a move up the inside? I thought about it, but he firmly shuts the door on us there, which is fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that. But anyway, now we've got to try and make a move. We're going to try and do the exact same thing to Kvyat that we did on Perez. We send it down the inside in this right-hander, but we actually go way too deep there, get it all crossed up, and Kvyat gets the spot back. But we're not done there. We're going to fight back up the inside in this left-hander. Kvyat basically drives into us there. A bit dodgy from the Russian. I don't know what he was playing at there. But anyway, we get the job done, and that is now up into a points finish. P10. That did not come out the way I had it planned. Sorry about that. But anyway, we're in the points again. This is definitely a bit new. But anyway, we've got to take these opportunities every chance we can. Cutting on to lap 18. Our pit window is open, And I think that was Sebastian Vettel in the pits there for another set of inters. Same for Carlos Sainz as well. Mick Schumacher in the pits for, I'm going to guess, another set of inters, as it is not right for dry tyres yet. But that surprises me, that does. The track really is supposed to dry out in like 2-3 laps, so I'm amazed the AI have come in. But onto lap 19, Danny Rick comes in as well, and as he comes out of the pits we get by him, and that is now up into P7. So we're making moves at the moment, and we're looking good for potentially another points finish here, which is not what I would have expected, especially after qualifying down in 21st position. But definitely looks like we have got a bit of luck on our side today, guys, as well as some genuine car pace as well, which, you know, is always handy. Coming onto lap 20, Ricciardo trying to move us over in the braking zone there. That was a little bit of a Max Verstappen type move there, so maybe Daniel did learn a few things off Max, but I won't go into detail about those two drivers, particularly their history, as I don't think that's something that we all need to be reminded of. Coming on to lap 21, Ricciardo trying the exact same move. Again, he leaves us barely any room on the apex there. We get it all crossed up. I think it's actually time for dry tyres. The track is definitely drying out, but we stay up for another lap. We get so close to the rear end of the Renault there that we get the move done. Now we got a strategy change. Ricciardo comes back at us now into turn 1. We're going to try and hang it around the outside. This is very risky. We've got old intermediate tyres that are not faring the best, and Lando Norris right behind as well, looking pretty feisty. Same for Sebastian Vettel, as I think those two are going side by side in the mirror there. So Sebastian looks like he wants to get a wriggle on, but Ricciardo made that move stick. He drove off. Cutting onto lap 22 on the back straight, we get it all crossed up there. That went horribly wrong, and that has gifted Sebastian Vettel P8 in this Grand Prix. But we're not going to take that lying down. I know it's a works Ferrari, but we're going to try and fight back into the braking zone. We go very deep, and I think we made contact there, and that has allowed Lando Norris past Sebastian Vettel, and he's going to try and make the move on us. But it is time for dry tyres. Now we're racing Lando in the pits, double lock up on the front tyres there, but we just maintained position over the McLaren driver. My word, what was that? But anyway, 71% on the left front, so these inters were absolutely shot. We're going to come in for a set of soft compound tyres, as I didn't see the point in coming in and putting the mediums on. Soft should easily be able to go about 5 laps. 1.9 second stop, by the way, from the boys, so awesome stop from Spiker there, as they've got us out in at P8. Danny Rick about 2.4 seconds up the road on the medium tyres. We've got a gap of just over 3 seconds to Lando Norris on the mediums. Sebastian Vettel 10 seconds back. I think Vettel has actually had to have a front wing change there. We did get a warning for colliding with him, so I wonder if he's actually got a bit of front wing damage from that. So if that is true, then man, that's not too good. So I apologise to Sebastian if we have indeed given him front wing damage, but he's obviously had that fixed. Going on to lap 26, that's our second warning for exceeding track limits. George Russell is out of the session, so it's all kicking off here in the final few moments of the Chinese Grand Prix. Let's have a look at what happened to the Williams, that he's just coasting along the front straight and pulls it over to the right hand side. Probably a gearbox or engine drama of some description. But cutting on to the penultimate lap, here comes Sebastian Vettel with DRS. He blows past us on the back straight there, and I wanted to fight back, to be honest, but there's just nothing we can do. But he gets it all wrong on the exit there. Massive slide. Caught me unawares there, I'm not going to lie, as we did run into him. So yeah, that's a little bit awkward, but Vettel now will probably streak away on this final lap and take home P8. But we'll cut on now as we get ready for the back straight. It's us versus Lando Norris, Spiker versus McLaren for P9. We're going to have to get our elbows up here. We haven't got a lot of ERS to play with, and that McLaren is pretty slippery in a straight line. But here we go. And look at that, we've already literally burnt through all of our ARS. Here comes Lando with the slipstream. DRS, we're going to squeeze him to the inside. Going to try and fight back if we can. I thought about going around the outside there. Then I thought we'd try for the cutback, but it hasn't worked. We burst into wheel spin, and it looks like it's going to be P10. I say that once again like it's a bad thing, but it's another points finish, which is pretty damn good.
There'll be many smiles at the factory after that one. A great race and a real team performance to take the win here in Shanghai. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Alrighty, so there we go guys, that has been today's video, the Chinese Grand Prix. We've scored another point, definitely felt like it could have been a bit more. I don't know if we would have been able to hold Sebastian Vettel at bay with the straight line speed that Ferrari had, but I definitely felt like we should have held on to P9. I felt like we could have kept Norris at bay, but in the end, wasn't quite meant to be. George Russell, the only retiree from this race. Nicholas Latifi ends up one lap down. Magnussen, Giovinazzi and Schumacher and Romain Grosjean all looks like they had their little fight going on for P17. Grosjean wins that fight, it looks like. But yeah, all in all, another solid weekend from P21 to P10. It's another point on the board for us. P12 in the Drivers' Championship, P8 in the Constructors still. So all in all, another solid weekend all around for the team.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
No, I don't think we did. I think we cleared through all the cars pretty quickly. A couple of them were a bit difficult, but I think we got through it fairly well.
It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm honestly breaking my own expectations, to be honest. I didn't expect to be scoring points, but yeah, there we go.
How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today?
It definitely shook things up a little bit. I think you guys would agree. Obviously, Sebastian Vettel only P8. If it was dry, I wouldn't mind betting he would have been fighting for a top 5. So definitely shook the order up a little bit today.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
And once again, she has to come out with these stupid questions. Half the time, I honestly just go no comment to these because Claire obviously isn't watching the same race that we're in, so yeah.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Alright, so there we go, guys, and thank you very much, Claire. You're right, we're all pain in the arse as always. But anyway, rivalry, we're still on the back foot to Kimi Räikkönen, which is a bit unfortunate. Hopefully we can turn that around and get the upper hand. But Team Acclaim, almost up to level 6, not quite. But anyway, not too bad. Cash, we bring in a little bit respectively from both drivers. And that almost puts us up to, I think it's $1 million, so not too bad. We are running a little bit low on funds, I must admit, so definitely need to yeah, start bringing in a tad bit more money. So we'll fill up the activity timeline to hopefully bring in a few more dollars and cents to this organisation. But anyway, a few quick things that I want to talk about, guys, just before we sound off on today's video. I have a few episodes pre-recorded. I know I've said that before, but I've just done the Spanish Grand Prix probably about an hour and a half ago. So after I upload this tonight, then it's the Dutch Grand Prix, the Spanish Grand Prix, and then the Jewel in the Crown Monaco, which is one which I'm half tempted to live stream, to be honest, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, just looking through the R&D side of things at the moment, seeing if there's anything else we can do in particular to this car. Definitely looking at a chassis upgrade, to be brutally honest with you guys. Major weight redistribution. I think we'll go with this, to be honest. It's going to take a little bit longer, but it should definitely be a pretty big boost in performance. That's assuming it arrives on time and doesn't fail. Fingers crossed it doesn't, anyway. But yeah, I think that's everything for this episode, guys. Scratch that, we'll just fast forward a few days.
Major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Check your R&D screen to order any redevelopments.
Oh dear, so our engine upgrade has failed. That's not too good, but we'll rectify that next episode. But that's it from me today, guys. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, stay tuned for plenty more. And yeah, that's it from me today. So until the next one, I'll see you all later. Have a good one.